Hey, we're good, everybody. Yep, Bob Branch video, and this is a special E3 2016 review edition. I did the review of Bethesda's review last night. It's an okay show, but not as good as last year. But we're gonna be going the recap of this year's E3, and first we're gonna start off with Ubisoft, and last year I called it Ubisuck. This year, an improvement, but I still think there needs work to do. They started off with dance, and then they quit doing that within the next 5 minutes. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, people are, they're done with Just Dance, all right? I mean, it's time for them to move on. People want real games again, and we want to have a new full-fledged games for consoles. And like games like that, I mean, who will want to spend these stupid games for $60 anymore? Because I mean, people are right now starting to vote, say, hey, we ain't paying $60 for just another whatever game it is anyway. But yeah, I have to say that Ubisoft, you're better, but you still need a little work. And now, but yeah, I mean, they have, and it's also an improvement because they're showing off a couple of new IPs, which is called Grow Up and Steep at the end. And I think these are two games that worth looking forward here. But I don't think Grow Up is worth the $60 price tag. I hope they do that on the 3DS. It seems to me like a 3DS title to me. And Steep at the end, but Steep at the end, I mean, it's like a complete open world online like this here today. That's what I have to say about Ubisoft. Let's go on to Nintendo. All right, they're the losers. I mean, they are the bottom of the list today. They had a Nintendo Treehouse, which is doing a Zelda, and it was kind of a pretty good new Zelda thing where you are stripped down, and then you have to find yourself the clothing from the start, and then you're not even with a sword. You're now with a tree stick. You have a tree stick that you have to do here, and then you have to then fight off an enemy to grab their clubs and stuff, and it's like a survival. They put a little survival like that. This over here, and they have a release date of next year for the Wii U and the NX. I don't know what the difference is, but I might get the NX version because the Wii U was it was a flop, and even but Nintendo doesn't get it. All right, there's also some interviews of Reggie Films. Let's face it, Reggie needs to go. All right, we need to change Nintendo to a different direction. And Nintendo needs to start making consoles that appeal towards third parties. Because third parties just doesn't want to be with here. We need to showcase towards third parties, say, look, we are changed. We are free to, over here to develop on towards our newly expanded platform here. Hopefully this would change by the NX, because if not, I mean, Nintendo is just doomed. Even Review Tech USA says, look, Nintendo, if you screw up the NX, that's it. People just don't want you anymore. I mean, look, the Wii sold the gimmick, and people played, Wii Sports. And it's also like, it's not even HD at that point, which the Wii U was kind of the Wii should be. The Wii U should have been the Wii should have been HD, even like before that here. But like that. Sony, the third one I've watched. Sony did the show right. They started off with God of War. They took it to maybe kind of a new direction. But they showed off pretty good games. They finally have a release date, which is maybe October something for The Last of Us. This is something that we've wanted for years, and I'm saying, look, release the game. It's been developing for too long, and they need to focus on the game. They showed off, I believe they showed off Final Fantasy 15, which is on Sony and Nintendo here. One big difference, and Sony also had their VR. Man, oh man, it kind of looks more better than the Oculus Rift. The Oculus Rift thus far is just a gimmick nowadays. I mean, they only showed off this stupid bunny, collect the bunny type of game and take it to your nest, and then what the game is, and you win the round. Look, who wants to spend hundreds of dollars just for these stupid games? All right. When you spend hundreds of dollars on a VR headset, you expect AAA games, full-fledged games, to be VR things. But Sony is doing it kind of right. The only thing is, are they full-fledged games, or they're just gimped down games on the VRs? Because they're saying 50 units and like they hear. But yeah, I think I have to say that Sony finally has grown a pair for the last few years. They're releasing a fair amount of exclusive games for the PS4, and I think that's about it. Let's go to Microsoft. Microsoft's show, they did show off the good games. They reviewed the Xbox One S, which is the Xbox One Slim. It looks surprisingly similar to the Xbox One, and they still have the disk drive on it. And they announced Project Scorpio. But then when the second look at this, I'm now realizing that many of these Xbox One games are coming on Windows 10. And now to me, it's like, so what's the point of getting an Xbox One if you are viewing this from a PC on YouTube and you have a good graphics card, then what's the point in getting an Xbox One? You can just get your consoles on PC. You can just get all these games on PC. I mean, this is what Microsoft... I mean, if they want the Xbox One to sell, they have to put it exclusively on their consoles. That they want to be able to do it. Because as a matter of fact, at this point, I can just go out there and buy a $500 or $600 PC and just get a Windows 10 PC, and you can still play them on the PCs today. That's one of the things here. I mean... the games are okay, not as strikingly as the PS4 games that are out there here. The PlayStation 4, on the other hand, you actually need to have the system for a lot of these games to be able to play it on them here. This is what, people nowadays, I say, F the consoles, just get the PCs. I mean the Microsoft, just F the Xbox One, just get it on PC. I mean... You can, upgrade, like a PC is upgradable, and I think this is what, the next gen consoles should be user upgradable. I mean, I'm not talking about, and I'm not just the hard drive, but also the CPU and the GPUs, and let the consumers swap them out. You can do that with PCs today. So I think consoles need to adjust availability. If you want to make these consoles like those welfare PCs, then just by all means, just make the consoles so that the users can upgrade the systems. And because, the other point about the upgrading this consoles mid-range is say, hey, yeah, you want to do that, you have to buy another console. This is, like doing that. Nintendo did this with the N64. You have the expansion pack, which is the upgrading your RAM, so you can so now the games play better. A lot of games play better in some games over here. I think that Donkey Kong 64 required a RAM upgrade on the N64s. I didn't have to buy new 8 megabyte RAM N64 to play it. I can just buy the expansion pack, swap it out, and there you go. You can play Donkey Kong 64 back at the time. On the Xbox One, nope. You have to buy the new Scorpio. On the PS4, nope. You have to buy the Neo to enjoy future games. This is the fact. The point here is... This is what the Xbox Scorpio basically is. It's an upgrade Xbox One that's just not going to come out for the next year. But I have to say, Sony dropped the ball with the new PS4. If they would have just announced it, they would have murdered Nintendo of this one. You would have come in to say, Nintendo delayed it, delayed the old outdated systems. We're going to make a bad our system that will murder Nintendo. And I think that could just finish and nail the camps over here. That's what Microsoft thinks. Now, last one, Bethesda. Okay show, but not the best. I mean, last year, Doom and Fallout 4 was great. They're coming out with so many of these ones are DLCs. It's a double-edged sword because, I mean, DLC should be, I think Bethesda is teaching some people a lesson. Says DLC is used for expansion packs. I mean, you can spend like maybe $20 on, you know, something new experience. Call of Duty, Infinite Warfare shouldn't have been a full-fledged game, all right? The pre-order sales are showing that. Look, I mean, I'm not spending another $60 just for another Call of Duty. Call of Duty Infinite Warfare should have been DLC for Advanced Warfare, and not another full-fledged games. And I think people right now finally are voting with their wallets and say, the hell is going to spend another game on the PC? Because, look, Call of Duty has run its course. It's time to move on. It's time to make a Pitfall game, Activision. Here's Pitfall Harry. I mean, and I'm not talking a mobile Pitfall game. I want a full-fledged Pitfall game. That's the game I'm looking for. The other thing that Sony did on thing is that they're reviving the classics that what they're making this year, and I think Sony is finally waking up now, and I have to say that I think this shop and Sony is finally getting their head out of their backs now, and finally rediscovering the good old days of gaming, like the Crash Bandicoot remastered edition. The only thing they made a mistake about it is, you know, they're bringing in Skylanders for Activision here. But I would love to see another Jack and Dexter games. Touch those games. I would love to see a Final Fantasy IX from Square Enix. Final Fantasy 15 isn't looking that bad, but I would love to, you know, go back to the roots of Final Fantasy 5, 6, 9, or make a Final Fantasy that has the calibers of 5, 6, 9, and 12. 15 kind of does it with 12. They're bringing back the good old classics things here, and I think 15 would not be a bad game here, because Square Enix is finally waking up now. So yeah, I think that E3 2016 brings some hope back to gaming, and I think this is my review. I will probably go over the videos themselves and like that, but. Yeah, I think Sony is the winner. They are finally waking up and revisiting the old school days and Crash Bandicoot, which was really a hit seller back in 1995 when the thing's here. But yeah, this is me, JD out, for 2016 E3.